Kellie, when someone says to you that they're a girl's girl, what does that actually mean? Do you think it's posting like to social media, I support women online? Is it never dating your friend's ex? Is it complimenting strangers in the bathroom lines? Or do you feel like it's something much bigger?
I think it's something much bigger. And I think it's something we should make a global thing. If us women all came together and stood up and was a girl's girl, could you imagine how we'd rule the world?
I mean,
sorry, I'm
agree with
jingly.
that. I think that if you were to say what a girl's girl was, it would be someone that doesn't have blind loyalty to every woman. I think it's someone that celebrates a woman versus competing with them.
Yeah.
I think it's also someone who has the ability to give credit where credit's due.
And that's something that we don't do for one another.
Right. And I think it's also someone who can lovingly criticize, any kind of decisions you make and it come directly from the heart versus just being something like jealousy or meanness
the brutally honest, but where the honesty is just somehow you being put down.
Right. It's just like, oh, well, I'm just being honest, but I'm mean. And, it's funny, too, because I feel like I'm a very honest person. A lot of times I tell people, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't mean ill by this. It's just how I am. I just give you the honesty.
But there's a way. There is a way. There is a way to say, well, I'm just being brutally honest. And then you're a nasty person. But then there's someone like how you're saying, I'm just being honest with you and I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. However, and then you state whatever the statement is, but you're like, look, your facial expression, the way you're saying it.
You want to realize this is coming from love, not from
and that's the
envy
difference.
or meanness or,
exactly. The way it is presented to you can dictate if this person is a girl's girl and they're there for your benefit and they're there to help you, or if they're looking to go to girl jail where they are looking to put you down and keep you a little bit under them so they themselves can look better. And we all have those friends that have embarrassed you in front of like a group of people or done something or said something just to keep you and your self-consciousness
like they put you down
lower.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Like
so that
they want to feel above you.
Yeah. And especially if it is in a group of people, whether it be a professional aspect or an aspect of where they're interested in somebody and maybe that person isn't interested in them or they deem you as a competition. Now, if you and I are together and you say like, oh, I like, or, oh, I'm interested in, I'm not going to go after it regardless because and it's not even that you state to claim. And this is for any woman. It's not that you state to claim. It's that you had mentioned that that's something you're interested in. And if I was also interested, I would say to you like, oh yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I too think the same way. But then again, I would want to gauge with you. Hey, are your feelings deeper than mine? Maybe you have invested more into it. And in that case, I could take a step back. And I have done that before. I had a friend that was very interested. We were speaking and a while ago, of course, and we were speaking and then they had a chance to go back to somebody that they were very much in love in before they had screwed things up with them. And they mentioned it to me and I said, you know what? I really think you should go take a shot. Right. And they're like, well, but you and I are talking. I said, yeah, but this is something that you feel. I said, look, I'm here and we're talking, we're getting to know each other. I said, we haven't gone further than that. And I said, so go take the shot. I said, it could be the only shot you ever have. And this is a gentleman. So it was a long time ago. It wasn't not, but regardless, I said, no, go take your shot. And in my thought, this.
I know you were really throwing me off. Like, I'm talking about being in this. Like, did you see me look at you kind of funny? No, I think you saw it in your peripherals.
This was a long time ago. But then I was like, you know what? We're just talking. We haven't made anything further than like we're kind of friends. And I said, if you have the chance and this is somebody that you were in love with, you know what, go take the shot. I'm not going to hold it against you for taking the shot. And they had broke up with somebody and they went and they spent the weekend together and in the long run, it didn't work out between them. He had gotten back in touch with me and said it didn't work out. And I said, hey, that really sucks. I'm really sorry. However, I did not wait for you because I just assumed, I don't want to say assumed, but I was like, okay, hey, look, I'm proud of you. Go take your second shot. Go take your second chance and maybe it will be the chance you needed, and whatever. Like we could be friends if they don't want you to be friends with me anymore because we were going to, maybe head into that, then that's fine. I have no problem backing off. But I mean, I wasn't going to get in the middle of it because what if it was their shot? And girl's girl if you want to look at it like that. But I figured, if you want me, I'm there. If you don't, I'm not going to wait around.
Right, exactly.
So, and yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work out for them, and that really sucks. But
at least you tried.
Yeah, live and learn, and they, whatever.
Well,
whatever.
And
I went on to something better anyway. So it's fine.
I think that another thing that makes a girl's girl is someone who doesn't weaponize gossips, like someone who doesn't take you in your worst time and use that against you.
Yeah.
And then they use that as fuel and they just add to it, even though they're trying to play. They're just the devil's advocate. That's the best part.
Like if it
they're
wasn't
trying to be there to be your friend. Oh, I'm so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. But then, on the outside, we got to talk about the tea that was just spilled. Listen, I love some good tea.
I do love some tea.
I do. I love to just sip and enjoy it. But there's also a point whenever I think that we're talking about someone's situation versus we're making fun of somebody's situation. And I don't think that it's a very girl's girl thing to make fun of or, even to take pity on another person's situation, because that's not what it is. Like, I think a true girl's girl, a girl's girl, it's not going to be an episode unless I just fumble my words. But you literally are in the thick of the shit with that person. Yeah. Like, your problem is their problem or their problem is your problem. You know what I mean? Like, you got each other's backs. And I think that that's what makes a girl's girl wonderful. Like, I love a woman who is able to celebrate with me and they don't feel like they're competing with me. Yeah. That to me is a big thing. I have had a lot of situations in the past because, I've worked under a lot of nurses, but there's a lot of nurses that have a very good line. Like, they understand that I'm there to assist them, but they don't treat me like I'm their slave or I'm beneath them. And you're in a hard
position there because there could be ones that are especially if the situation warrants and they're just kind of yelling stuff at you.
Yes.
And you have to take that as, you're not being nasty to me because I did anything. It's the situation. And this is where they have to act
and
like
the crazy thing is we do have nurses that are girls, be it male or female. I mean, honest to God, like, you can just call them girls because they have your back. Yeah. Like, I've worked with one male nurse that was always fantastic. He always had my back. And I mean, like, I don't even know how to say that. Maybe we can just call it a merce, because the male nurse. I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to think of something funny to go that would be like girls, but merce, you know what? Whatever. Anyway,
a boy best,
a med tech's mercy. I don't know. Anyway, they always have my back, like with patients, with other nurses. And whenever another nurse had become very demanding and acting like I was beneath her, another one of the nurses that is a girl's girl stepped in and she was like, no, we are not going to have this. Yeah. Like, I don't care if you see Jennifer as a tech or if you see her as your coworker. We're a freaking team here, and no, that's not going to happen. Together. So I'm going to say, like, in many situations, it doesn't matter if it's your personal life, like in your friendships, even in your working life, you have to deal with people and you have to wonder, is this person going to be a girl's girl? And I'm not talking about to the point where you're going to break some laws or something for this person.
Oh God,
like,
no.
Like, I ain't going to be sticking up for that kind of shit. I just want to say.
But there's a way to be protective of one another.
And to work as a team and be very cohesive. And I think that that's relationships that I desire in my working. Like, obviously, I'm not trying to get to know you. I'm not trying to be your best friend in my job. Right. But I want to have mutual respect with you. And I want you to understand where I stand. And I understand where you stand. But I'm here for you as support. And as long as you treat me as an equal, as part of the team, like, I don't care. We got this.
Yeah, we're doing it together and we're working together for whatever the goal is. And you work in a position where it's very hard because you do have doctors that are very demanding and they think like their word is law. And then you have nurses that still have, that bit of, and that's what I've always said. Like, I will listen to the doctor and then I always turn to the nurse and I say, tell me what you think. Because I feel like the nurse and same with you, you still have a little bit of that humility left that I don't want to call it a God complex because I'm not saying doctors are like that or that all of them are, but it's almost like you still have a little bit of that. instinct to not tone it down, but realize this is a human and they're scared.
Right.
And then coming at it as, look, honey, look, I can help you. And this is what we have to do. This is what the doctor means.
Right.
And kind of not dumb it down, but make it so that the severity of the situation has come back. And like you said, from a male or a female nurse in general statement.
I feel like it starts in this like little pyramid. Like the doctor's there. He's going to give you his expertise. He's there for business.
Yep.
Like, and then you have the nurses that they understand a little bit. And the great thing about the nurses is the nurses are constantly in the doctor's ear. Like, hey, I've seen this present this way before. I understand what this means. And I mean, the nurses are just like the second in line to that. And then, you got to think about radiology. You got to think about the lab. Yep. You got to think about everything that comes into play. And then the techs, we do so much stuff too. It's just like everybody is a team and it all comes together in a good way. And it's not necessarily really about being a girl's girl at that point. Like it's just about being a functioning, decent member of society, like to understand, hey, we got to spend 12 hours of our life here together. Let's make this work the best way that we can. And that I'm saying that's like in many different relationships. That's something that I think is important. And then if you think about it, what kind of things a girl isn't. There's people, I've dealt with people before that excuse their toxic behavior because they think women should quote unquote stick together.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, for the most part, I will stick with, I will watch, I will stand, I will look over at your drink. If I see you get up and go to the bathroom, I will keep an eye on your drink, like things like that. And in those instances, I'll stick together. But if it's at the detriment of somebody else and we're going to, and the end of this is somebody's going to be hurt, I can't stand with you. I can't help you because I can't hurt somebody else to elevate you, to elevate myself, of anything of that nature. I'm not built like that. I would prefer to give. I would prefer to help. I would prefer to build you up or to bring you with me if I can, because sometimes, I've made friends with people just from stupid ass interactions.
I know, right?
I mean, look, we met that time traveler and then I met him again and now we have his phone number and we're all like, we're
I forgot. Friends. We didn't even talk about Kelly seeing the time.
I couldn't believe.
Did we talk about
I don't know, but man,
Kelly ran into him again.
And we knew each other. He looked right at me. I looked at him. He smiled and I was like, time traveler? And he's like, girl sniffing candles at Walmart?
He remembered us.
I was like, yes, I called you. I was like, come to the coffee shop. Man, that was something. And it was funny because he was sitting with somebody else who said the same thing. She said, I had walked in and it was ironically the same coffee shop. She said, I walked in, I looked right at him. He smiled just like he did at you. And she said it was instantaneous. I walked right over to him. I said, you want to get a coffee? And she's sure. And we sat down and started talking.
Wow.
I mean, that's just.
It's crazy how the world works. And, that even gets to me, like the way that you're talking, the way that you talk about other people whenever they aren't present. I think that's important because a lot of people that tear others down behind closed doors
tells you about the person.
That tells you a lot about somebody. And that's definitely someone who I don't think is a girl's girl. That's for sure.
I will vent. I will say, I'll be like, look, I have to be really nasty about somebody right now. And then afterwards, I'm like, I know that's not right.
Like, let me take it back. Let me take it back.
I'm like, but I just need to get it out. And then I'll roll back and I'll be like, I know what I said is wrong. And I would never say it to this person or whatever. Please don't take it further than this. I just needed to be that asshole.
I don't know. Is there a difference in being petty versus being someone who's not really a girl's girl? I don't know because I feel like I can be petty as well. I
like it. I like it a lot.
That's like I can be petty, girl. I can't, and I like to be, but then at the end of it, I'm like, oh, that was kind of mean.
I feel bad.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what? We had talked about menopause and starting perimenopause and like the amount of rage I feel. And I sometimes, and the whole thing, and I had said it to my son the other day, we were talking about it. And he goes, yeah, sometimes you go on for like 20 minutes. And I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, there is a rational part in my brain that is like, you need to stop. Like you are being nasty for no reason. I don't know why you're doing this. Please. And I told him that. I said, there is that spot and it is yelling the entire time that I am raging. I said, but it's just not loud enough to make the rest shut up.
I get that.
So,
I get that. That's
and
me
I
sometimes
apologize.
too.
And I apologize every time. Like, I'm really sorry I did that. And he said to me, he goes, but you hate to apologize for it. So why do it? And I'm like, honestly, because at the time it feels fantastic to
The
just
problem
rage.
with me whenever I explode is at times everything that I say can be taken like in a mean way. But whenever I really get angry, everything that I feel comes out in that moment because just the honesty in me has to speak up and say, look, this is exactly what I'm feeling. And I think a lot of times it comes across as like me being mean, but I'm really not. I'm just stating all of my emotions.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm angry in the moment definitely does not make them be taken well.
Hey, well, we've done things like that. You've never been angry with me. Well, I mean, you've never been angry at me, but there's times where you're like, look, I just have to bloop. And then, all right. And I let you go. And then we sat there and I'm like, all right, everybody. And you're like, I'm good. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. And I feel
know,
like
and you
feel
worry
better.
so many
I
times
do.
whenever Kelly worries so much about like if everybody's mad at her. And I'm like, girl, I'm not mad. Trust me, if I'm mad, I'm going to be like,
That's
look,
trauma.
this pissed me off.
Yeah. And you are very,
that's
so I'm
just
pretty
me.
good at it, but I get, because I get weird when people get quiet. I'm like, holy shit, did I do? And I will think about absolutely everything. And I'm like, fuck, did I step over a line? And I do sometimes. I know I step over. I freaking dance on lines with people like you wouldn't. I have people that know that when they see me, and I mean, and even in town, they're like, this bitch is going to step over the line with me. And especially if I'm I don't want to say self-promoting, but if I am promoting something, especially something I'm like volunteering for, or I'm really like a part of, or I'm really like passionate about, I am like on, when I did the raffle last year, I mean, I sat and talked with some guy for 2 hours about aliens. But in the same regard, the $25 gift certificate became a $100 gift certificate. Blah, 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 blah. We went up $75 because I sat there and talked about aliens.
Nice.
Yep. I can't tell you who it was because they don't want anybody to know that they think we're aliens, but we are. I agree. I think we are.
Well, is there things that you can think of that you've seen another woman do that instantly just got to you and you're like, oh, she's a girl's girl. Like, I like her. I like her style.
I've seen like a lady leave the stall and her dress was still tucked in and the lady behind her just kind of grab and pull and just said, you're all good. And like,
right.
I don't think the lady knew. She just said, oh, okay, thank you. And kept going. But the other day, look, we went to the mall and there was a lady standing there and she was dressed in a full garb. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah. And she had a baby and she had a child who was autistic. And there's this woman. And like I said, I am religious. I go to church. I believe in, all the deities and gods and goddesses. I believe everybody has the right to believe. But she is sitting here having this conversation about Jesus with this woman. And the woman is being very polite. The woman, she had a face covering on. I'm not going to take any guess of anything else, but her son was having a hard time. He needed to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And she was trying to be polite to the lady. And finally, I said, I just turned to the lady talking about Jesus. I said, I'll talk about Jesus with you if you let this lady just take her kid to the bathroom before the poor kid goes to the bathroom on the floor. She goes, what kid? And I said, I said, her son, who's literally like, he is stemming like you wouldn't believe. And the mom is trying, but she's trying not to be rude to this lady talking about Jesus. And, and the lady with the face covering on, she just patted my arm. I said, you go, she can talk about Jesus with me. And then the lady's like, well, that and I said, I just want her kid to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Like, why are we having this conversation? I said, Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. There you go. Now we all know. We're done. I'm not, why are we having this? I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm like, the lady was just being so polite and the kid was, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, please just let this mom take her kid in there, and whether that's like a girl's girl thing or that was just her feeling like she needed to thrust herself upon this poor woman. I have no idea. But afterwards, I used the bathroom too. And I don't know, the Jesus lady left and then she just said, the other lady said, thank you very much. And I said, don't worry about it. Go, you do what you got to do.
Take care of your kid, girl.
Well,
I've seen people I love to watch videos on the interwebs of women hyping up other women.
Yes.
I feel like we should go out and just be like, see women just doing their day-to-day tasks and be like, you go, girl.
Oh, I do.
We need to. We need to.
Like,
Just go hype up
I
women.
like your hair. I gave the lady when I went to my follow-up for my surgery, and she had asked me, I was telling her about our podcast. I ended up giving her my little keychain with our QR code. And I said, here you go, listen to us.
I love it.
And I just, I think it makes everyone's day brighter just to hear a compliment, especially a compliment from a stranger, because I don't know why, but you could take the word of a stranger over the word of
for some reason, because you feel like they don't know you at all, and they give you
they
like
have no reason to lie,
unwarranted opinion. But then you got to wonder, like, do they really feel that way?
Which
actually is a red flag, man. If you were to have someone that compliments you, then they go off with their friends and they're like snickering and stuff. Like, I hate being in public and seeing a woman doing her best with her kids, and then some young girl behind them, her and her friends snickering, talking shit about them.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, girls, you got so much growing up to do.
Because
I know so much to learn. You're going to be there one day.
Mom clothes. Look, we do not have enough time to even use the bathroom alone.
Yep, that's true.
Let alone to put a cohesive outfit. I mean, look, our kids are grown now, and half the time do we not go out looking like bums? I don't care. No, I always put on my fake hair.
Yeah,
but other than that, I don't have any.
Are you not
today.
feeling cute today? You ain't got makeup on, nothing.
I got nothing. I got nothing. I was showing off the Korean face mask, man.
Yeah, your skin looks good. Your skin looks good.
That's the only good thing I got out of the surgery, not this itchy ass shit.
Quit scratching.
I know. Here you go. Jasmine is and that she's a girl's girl. She was like, "Bitch, come over here," and then she sprayed me with some stingy cream,
some Benadryl spray.
Some Benadryl, so I'll stop.
She needs to stop scratching.
She's like, I got you. And she got me all over, and now I'm not itchy as I'm itching my head. I say that. Well, I don't know what it's from. I really don't.
I'm telling you, there can be post-surgical itch, and I think that's what you're dealing with. You gotta give yourself a little grace. Remember, we gotta give ourselves some grace. I say
it's
that
bad
all the
enough
time.
that I have to have that poor surgeon look at that area, and it is in a area where you can see other parts of my body, and I always apologize, and he's like, why are you apologizing? Yanking my underwear down and ask me why I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I got to apologize for it. I had 2 kids. I'm sorry.
Well, and since I was talking about like a lot of these social media posts that I go through and I watch the women hyping each other up, you got to watch for performative feminism. Like there's the people that just go out, they say they're supporting women, but is there actual support there? You've got to wonder. Which brings us to our Mom for a Minute. We want you to let you know that we do talk about it because we do want to follow through.
Yes.
We are here. We want to give you everything that we've got to give, and we're always there for that.
You know what? Not for nothing. We should talk about our email, because we did get an email of somebody very interested in coming to be a part of our podcast. And then that would go into, do we think that this is a girl's girl type of thing? Or is it something where you hear about, hey, if you went and got a new hairdo, or if you lost weight, or if anything else. But you read the email first and kind of went back and forth with everything that was said. And then I read it and I was just like, you think he'd do my hair?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way we were thinking of it. But I mean, that's not the only person. We were reached out. Oh, that was the other gentleman asking about childcare stuff. And we were like, look, every child is different. You have to do what's good for you.
Right.
Based on different things. But then again, he was worried because he is autistic and he's just having a hard time. And depending on your type of autism and everything, some people just need a very set schedule. And maybe he was just looking for us
to give like exact how he should, but that's the thing.
Not how it
there's no book that tells you this is exactly how it's going to be for you, because every child, every parent, everything, it's so different, and every situation has unique contributors. Like I don't know how to explain it any more than that, but what do you think that sometimes there's, when you're a girl's girl, you do end up having to have uncomfortable situations? Like, think about a moment where you had to tell a friend that they were just dating an awful person. Like, how do you have that conversation,
especially if they're in
and
love,
still be their ally in the situation, because you want them to understand you just want what's best for them. But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
where does it, what were we talking about? Where are you still a girl's girl, or you belong in girls' jail?
Well, yeah,
and that would be the thing. Now, for me, I'd say, look, this person isn't my cup of tea. I can understand that you're in love with them, and if they're what you need at this point in time, I'm not going to hold it against you. However, I am making my opinion known on the situation. I will still be here regardless.
Well, and I don't like to be that person that's like, I told you so. I don't
But
like to be that
no,
person.
I won't tell you I
No.
told you so. I'm here if you need me. If it crashes and burn, hey, I hope it doesn't.
Well, and I mean, that takes
Yeah.
you to other situations too, where you have to be able to admit to them whenever they're wrong. Like, be able to have a conversation with someone and be like, hey, you're totally wrong about this. And I mean, those are hard times to even admit any of that. And then not even on that, like, you can think about how you have to set boundaries with people, like being able to have that boundary conversation and explaining to someone, hey, this isn't how I am. Like, I don't know. That's one that I think that's a tough conversation to have with somebody. Or if you're enabling their bad behavior, like say they're doing things that you're just like, oh, I don't agree with this.
Yeah.
But how do you turn that off and say, look, I love you, but I can't support this.
But then you got to look at it. Are they heading down a dangerous path? Is it drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it a life-threatening thing? Is it something that's going to harm their lives, their livelihood, their family, their children? And then where should you step? Where can you step in where you're not overstepping, like you were saying? But I think anything where it's going to cause any sort of harm, regardless of girl or not, you need to step in and be like, look, this is just what I'm noticing. You're going to do what you're going to do, but I need you to know I feel like it's going to be a dangerous outcome.
Right.
And then you have to leave it at that, because you can't make them do what you want. But pointing it out, sometimes it might make the difference. Other times people just need to crash and burn, and maybe they need the lesson. I don't know. So I got to tell you, most of the time I need the lesson.
We could kind of put that up to a debate. Then we could say, is this example a girl's girl, or is this someone that should go to girls' jail?
Yeah.
You have another woman that is in front of you and she's talking to you and you notice she has something on her teeth. She either has some food stuck or she has lipstick on her teeth, and you just tell her, hey, you got something there. What would you be? Would that be a girl's girl, or you think that'd go to girls' jail?
Girls' girl if you don't repeat that you saw that after. Girls' jail if you walk around and then tell everybody, I had to tell that girl she had lipstick on her, she had food, or she had, if you say it and then never bring it up again, you're a girl's girl.
Okay,
if you say it and share it, then you're in jail.
On the opposite spectrum, what if you keep quiet because you don't want to embarrass her?
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
That's kind of both ways. Like, I mean, I could see how you don't want to embarrass her. Yeah, but you probably should let her know. Like, I would appreciate someone telling me. If you just gave like a little gesture, hey, you don't even have to make it noticeable. Like, we as women understand hand gestures.
We do.
Okay. So what if you were in another situation and you chose not to recommend a really talented friend for a position because you yourself wanted that position?
See, now that's hard, because it sucks, because if you need the job,
I'm saying it's just a job you really want. Like, it's not anything that you have to have, but you have this friend that's super qualified.
I would
know that they're
recommend
the perfect
my
fit.
friend, because
I think that if you choose to go for it versus letting them, like, say it's an opportunity they told about. I think that's a big deal whenever a girl gatekeeps. Like, whenever every time I see an opportunity that I think, oh my God, Kelly could do that. I tag you. I tag you on Facebook, because I think that's important. Whenever there's something that comes along that you can see that person as a perfect fit, I think that if you were to choose not to recommend your talented friend, you would probably go to girls' jail.
Yeah, I agree. All
right. So what if you chose to compliment another woman's outfit, but then you immediately tell somebody, yeah, that's definitely not my style?
Girls' jail.
Agreed.
Don't repeat. If you're going to tell somebody you like it, don't say anything afterwards. That's where the compliment ends. They get to take it. And I mean, you could think whatever you want because your brain is your brain, but don't repeat it, because what was the point of doing it in the beginning, besides for your own self gratification? That's the way I would look at it.
Okay. So what if you were in a situation where you had a girlfriend that her boyfriend started DMing you? How would you handle that?
I'd let him know.
You'd tell the girlfriend?
What are they DMing me? Like, hey, I'm worried that I noticed they're pulling away, or I want to get engaged. Could you help me pick out a ring? Or, hey, I'd like to see you without them around.
Okay. All right. So, would you ever let your girlfriend leave the house with obvious self-tanner streaks?
No. No, I'd say, girl,
You'd
come
be
here.
like, hello.
Let me rub you down, baby.
Would you ever hype up a stranger in a public bathroom?
Yes.
I totally know you would too, because I think I've witnessed that happen. Would you tell a woman she has toilet paper stuck to her shoe?
Yes.
I would too.
Or I'd step behind you and hold it there so you can walk away without it.
Would you tell a woman the truth about a bad haircut?
No.
Oh, I don't know. I probably would.
No, because I wouldn't, because I would think that they went and tried something daring or tried something new because they really wanted to. And whether I find it flattering or not, in the same regard, I know that this was a big step for them, especially if it's like a big change from long hair to short hair or something like really drastic. I wouldn't want them to diminish the choice they made because they're already feeling self-conscious enough about it.
Well, do you think that there's ever been a time in your life where you had a woman who came in your life and just unexpectedly had your back?
You.
Oh, well, I didn't think it would be me. Lord almighty, girlfriend.
You're my person.
Well, I mean, I've had times where I've just like struggled with something and then somebody unexpectedly showed up. I'm trying to think of a situation where I always feel like I'm the person that just unexpectedly shows up.
Me too. I think that's why we bonded so much, is because we're always the person that shows up for somebody else. If you need my help, I want to be there. I want to help. And I like being helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I like to help people. I like the feeling I get, which, the dopamine release. And
yeah.
I know in general, the world's a shitty place.
Maybe we have better situations where a woman kind of broke our heart.
Yes. I
mean, you don't have to be specific. You don't have to give exact details, but I mean, I
can tell you in 9th grade, and I mean, we're dating ourselves way back, and my friend Gabrielle lived with me, and she had a boyfriend, George, and we were going to the 9th grade dance, and so George was going to bring a friend, and I might have told this story before. Anyways, he brought a friend for me to go to the dance with, and I mean, granted, I'm me, so the fact that she even got me in a dress was kind of weird. We go and we had a good time, but the issue is, and you know me, because I am a very sociable person. While I could wander around and be chatty with anybody, I never really had a social group that was my social group. I just kind of bounced from wherever it fit me. So I had, my friend Gabrielle and our friend Katie, and here Katie wasn't a girl's girl, man. She went in, she took the dude. I think his name was Joe. I can't remember.
It's irrelevant.
Whatever. And not for nothing, they spent the night at our house afterwards. Both the boys, and my friend Gabrielle lived with me, and then Katie, and she went and had relations with him. And I mean, I wasn't looking to have relations with him at all, but I felt like that was kind of messed up because not for nothing, he was my date to this event, and she actually had a different date who wasn't staying at her house. And she was like, well, I'll sleep over your house. And I was like, okay, I didn't think anything of it,
And that's kind of what we said too, with competition. Why do some women treat situations like it's a competition?
And then my friend Gabe is like, what the, Gabrielle, she was like, George, and he's like, well, what am I supposed to say? My boy wants to get laid. And he, and she's like, yeah, but he came to go with him. And he's like, I don't know. I like your friend. I'll hang out with her too. She can come hang out with the two of us. But I didn't want to intrude on their time together. I think I ended up going to bed, and my mom called Katie a slut. So worked out better. My mom had my back. I didn't have to worry about it.
That's right. She was a girl's girl.
Yeah. Hey. She was like, what a slut. Make her go home now. She can't stay for breakfast.
I think that one of my times that I feel most heartbroken, I had a couple friendships that I really put a lot of myself into. And then as the years went on, I slowly started to realize that they were draining me more than they were fulfilling anything within me. And just things kind of culminated into a head. And at the end, I was accused of being abusive because I thought children needed boundaries. And apparently that's an abusive situation. But I don't understand it because I think it's important for any child, no matter how old they are, to have an understanding of boundaries. They need to understand where they can and they can't push things. And you
you had
can't
somebody who was a
even,
free parent.
you can't understand your own bodily autonomy, even if you have no boundaries. And I think that's important, because at what point does that child realize, hey, this isn't okay? Like, somebody did this and it's not cool. And like, but they don't realize that, because they think that there's no boundaries. Nobody has any boundaries. And I think that that's not very healthy. And so, I mean, I think
that does get scary. And then, and right then and there, like you were saying, that is the time that you need to point it out, regardless if you're a girl's girl or you go to girls' jail, you're risking somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue. You can't do that. And especially children. I mean, well, because you work in the medical field, technically you're a court mandated reporter.
Yeah, I am.
And the sector of which I work, through the religious aspect and the fact that I have 2 scouting troops, I am a court mandated reporter.
Yeah. And a lot of times, anytime I've had to report anything, it is a biased opinion. Like, it's just a situation I witnessed. This is what happened. This is who was involved. And it never means anything that I feel about that person. It never means I know that there's a person in crisis in that situation. And you're making sure I'm trying to help with that, and I think that it's cool. It's good, though. I think that the system that they use for kids, the little CPS system, is a little kind of fucked up. I gotta be honest. It's kind of fucked up. But I do believe that there are good people out there that have true intentions. And I do hope that the world shifts and they recognize that.
That would be nice.
That there's really actual help. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's hard. It's a hard situation, because like you got to understand that line between what you need to say and what you need to do. But there has been many times that I have definitely not been a girl's girl. There's times whenever I have done things that have not been the right choices. But the good thing is I feel like those vulnerable moments in my life where I was somebody that I didn't want to be, I think they kind of grow, like they made me grow in a way from those situations to learn how to be a better person, and to learn how to just bring it around and be that person that I want to be.
I was thinking about your girl's girl comment and everything else. Hang on, I'm trying to get to the picture. I had posted this photo of myself, and I'm showing it to you just so you see it. And I said that I had gone to church.
Right.
And I wrote, spent the morning with Jesus. And I took a picture of my nice little pink dress that I wore, because I just thought it was a nice dress. And then I felt better going to church because I hadn't been in a couple weeks and everything. Mm-hmm. And somebody had texted me, and I won't say their name, and this was on TikTok. So if you follow me on TikTok, you can see it said, they wrote, "Did you see him? No, he doesn't exist. You do." And then a heart and the peace sign. I said, no, I didn't see him. Me either. Hold on. I don't know why this thing. I said, me either. No, I'm sorry. That's what she wrote. Hold on. I said, sometimes faith and a feeling is all that you need. I believe all exist and all deserve a chance to believe how the heart directs. Spread kindness and love. This world is hard enough, and I don't want to make it harder for anyone. And then I did the rainbow hearts, because honestly, really, the world is a shitty place, and I'm not going to make it shittier for anybody else, because that just sucks. And, not for nothing, they came back and they just said, you know what, me either. I am really sorry that I said that I was having a negative day, and we all have our own path. And I said, you know what, you're an amazing person, and I appreciate that you comment. And then I left it at that, and she hearted everything I said. And I thought that was kind of nice. Like, she looked at it and she was like, shit, I wasn't a girl's girl. And she came back and rectified it. And I took it, and I still, what she said to me didn't bother me, because that's how she was feeling. And she's welcome to the feeling. And she was welcome to say to me how she was feeling, because that's why my profile is open and public, and let people say shit.
Well, and what you're saying is true. It ties completely back to saying being a girl's girl it's not about being perfection. It's about existing in this space where women can say, hey, I've messed up.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. Hey, but I'm proud of you. I need help. And you deserved that opportunity.
You did.
Like, it's definitely a space where you can be able to exist and be yourself and be able to encourage others and to just move forward in life and to have each other's backs. And I mean, I feel like ultimately that type of community, it doesn't even matter if it's man or woman. That is the type of community that I want to exist in.
And that's Mom for a minute.
I mean, yeah. And that's where too, like they always have said, I think it's so true now. It takes a village.
Yep.
And it truly does. And I have every desire to just create that village.
I think hey, you and I have been talking about different things, and you've been talking with John and everything else, and just different thoughts of things you want to do in the future. And I told you, I got your back 100%.
Yeah,
I'm here.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm here to see you do it because
Good
I want to.
coming.
It is. And not for nothing, I could see absolutely everything you say coming to fruition, and that being the future. You know, the same with my daughter, who's like, I'm going to buy a food truck and drive around. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, girl.
And we did. I told her, let's start looking. I will co-sign something for you if you need me to. I mean, I ain't got no money, but we'll figure it out.
Heck yeah, we got it. It takes a village, girl. Yep. It takes a village.
She's got another year of college, so I ain't worried.
Yeah, we got a year to figure it out. Well, we do want to leave you guys with a question. If every woman treated another woman the way she wanted to be treated on her worst day, what do you think would change? Wow. Just a question to leave you with. And we hope you all have a wonderful day. As always, we're here. You can go to our website, check out Mom for a Minute.
Yeah.
We will be out this weekend doing our thing.
And I'm in the parade, so come see me. I'm going to wave because I get the princess treatment. I get to wave.
But we love you guys, and you hope you have a wonderful day. And as always,
goodbye.